Godot was an ordinary errand boy with nothing going in his life. However, when he accidentally destroys the god of war and takes his power for himself, he starts defeating evil gods by day and cracking goddess cheeks at night. It all begins when Godot arrives in Italy to deliver a strange stone tablet that belongs to his grandfather's friend. Just then, a girl named Erica shows up and points a knife at him, insisting that he turn over the grimoire to her because she's a magical knight. Godot is amazed that Italy has hoes that demand payment without service, when suddenly, the city shakes and a giant monster, almost as ugly as your girlfriend, appears to wreak havoc. Erica rushes to deal with it with help from her assistant, Ariana, who drives her closer to the rampaging warthog. There, Erica does some sparky boom boom magic and pulls out a sword, which she uses to face off the magical beast. Meanwhile, Godot runs through some of the wreckage when he trips on his 2 left feet and drops the grimoire. Just then, a strange boy appears and picks up the grimoire like he knows what it is. When Godot asks who he is, the strange boy says he's the one who has been reviving the old gods, looking for a challenger that can finally beat him. But since Godot has zero idea what the skinny twig is talking about, he explains that he has to deliver the tablet to someone and asks for it back. With a mischievous laugh, the boy agrees to entrust it to Godot and disappears. Meanwhile, Erica is struggling to hold off the demon hog when she falls off the roof, but before she can get pancaked, Godot grabs her hand and saves her. At that moment, the warthog disappears, and everything goes back to normal except for the millions worth of property damage. After, at the train station, Erica tells Godot about the existence of gods as well as heretic gods, which bring disaster to the human realm. When she wonders how he doesn't already know this, Godot explains that he's just delivering the stone to a woman named Lucretia, whom Erica recognizes as a witch. However, since the train refuses to arrive on time, she suggests they drive to her house instead. There, they find that Lucretia is a hot dummy cat mummy, which shocks Godot since she's supposed to be his grandfather's old saggy ex, but Lucretia explains that she only looks young to ordinary humans. She then inspects the grimoire and asks Godot if he encountered anyone aside from Erica in the city. When Godot confirms that he met a strange boy, Lucretia hands it back to Godot and tells him it's God's wish for him to hold on to it. However, Erica gets upset because Godot is just an ordinary human and storms out. Later, Erica drinks herself silly and ends up too drunk to walk straight, so Godot takes her to her room for the night and gets her undressed.
Yeah, boy.
However, after he manages to fight off his ditty demons, he decides to leave like a gentleman until he discovers he was locked in by Lucretia, who definitely has something wrong with her. When Erica gets sober, she gives Godot hell for seeing her in an indecent state, but before she can impale him, it suddenly starts raining, and she rushes out to find one of the gods. Erica addresses him as Melkart and tries to stop him when another god appears and strikes from above. Melkart insists that he has to fight and heads off, so Erica plans to go after them and stop them from destroying the island with their fight. Moments later, Ariana drives both Erica and Godot to the battleground as Godot recalls his conversation with Lucretia. Apparently, the grimoire will allow him to steal a god's power and use it as his own, and there's already one god's power trapped inside. When they finally arrive, Godot sees the strange boy who is actually a god named Varithragna. According to Lucretia, Varithragna has 10 incarnations, and one of them is the power currently trapped inside the grimoire. Before the two gods start clashing, Erica jumps in and tries to talk no jutsu them, but since she isn't the protagonist, Varithragna refuses and tries to strike her with his lightning bolts, causing Godot to push her out of the way. After, Godot tells Melkart he's holding part of Varithragna's power and bargains for his protection so he can win the fight. Amused, Melkart agrees and casts a divine protection spell so Varithragna's bolts can't hurt them. However, Varithragna immediately summons a golden sword that makes Melkart go pale as he uses the sword to cut through the barrier. Godot wonders how it's possible, so Erica explains that the sword is one that can cut through divinity itself and can reduce a god to a mere mortal. With no other choice, Godot plans to use the grimoire even though Erica warns him that he might die. But when he insists, she gets rizzed by his balls of steel and kisses him on the cheek. Just then, Varithragna breaks through the shield while Godot points the grimoire toward him and uses its power to steal the golden sword. After surviving his crazy plan, Godot asks what he has to do to cut through Varithragna's divinity, and for some reason, Erica grabs his face whole and kisses it. Immediately, a bright light shines, manifesting countless golden swords, as one of them pierces through Varithragna and defeats him. Afterward, Godot has a weird dream where Pandora tells him that he'll be reborn as a godslayer for defeating Varithragna. When he wakes up, he realizes he's late for school and skips the bathroom to dress up. Suddenly, he freezes when he spots Erica in his bed, who then asks him to get her a cappuccino. Gudo. Shortly after, during breakfast, Gudo's sister, Shizuka, interrogates him, asking why he brought home his one-night stand. After Gudo explains his situation, Shizuka refuses to believe him since they both look like lovebirds on a honeymoon. While Gudo tries to explain himself, Erika reminds him of their soap opera situation in Italy. Before Gudo can put up an argument, she puts her magical orbs to good use and knocks the fight out of him.
Nice.
Later at school, Gudo looks like a deflated balloon, so his friend asks if he's alright. When he explains that it's a girl issue, his friend tells him about a hot transfer student from Italy joining the class. However, Gudo couldn't care less, since he can't stop thinking about the moment he defeated Verathragna. Suddenly, his brain comes online, and he asks his friend whether the transfer student is from Italy. Just then, Erika shows up, introducing herself to the class as Gudo's soulmate. While the entire class stares at him like they just saw his browser history, Erika pecks Gudo and compels the girl sitting next to him to scram. Surprised, Gudo asks Erika what she's doing, and she says she'll be staying in the country for a while. Suddenly, the class boys pounce on Gudo, accusing him of ruining their plans for the hottie. To make matters worse, Erika starts narrating how Gudo flipped her all night long in a room in Italy, but he quickly pulls her out of the class before she ruins his reputation. On getting out, he realizes he pulled a different girl, who then introduces herself as Yuri. After school, Gudo heads home with Yuri and tells her that he's not a hoe like Erika describes. But Yuri suddenly acknowledges him as a demon king and begs him to punish her for tricking him. While Gudo wonders if it's a new kind of prank, a suited dude shows up and asks Yuri to stop troubling the king. After this, he introduces himself as Amaterasu and explains that he and Yuri belong to a body that handles individuals related to magic. In addition, Amaterasu reveals that Yuri tricked him into grabbing her in class on his order, because the organization needed to contact him. When Yuri apologizes again, Gudo tells her to stop being formal with him since he doesn't consider himself king yet. Afterward, Gudo asks why they needed to see him, and Amaterasu reveals Erika's involvement with an agency named the Copper Black Cross. Later that day, when Gudo arrives home, Shizuka violently welcomes him with an iron spoon and accuses him of attacking Yuri. Surprised, Gudo says he didn't, but Shizuka isn't buying even a discounted version of that story. And when she adds that everyone in school now thinks he's a flirt, Gudo gives up and walks out. On entering his room, he remembers Amaterasu's idea that Erika might be on a mission to seduce him into joining the Copper Black Cross. While he's busy thinking out loud, he suddenly notices Erika lying beside him, so he freaks out and tells her to stop trying to seduce someone she doesn't even like. Hearing this, Erika suggests they spend a day together so she can prove how she really feels. The next day in Italy, Gudo waits for Erika and complains to Ariana about the cost of traveling all the way back to Italy just to spend a day with her. In response, Ariana tells him to relax and takes her leave. Suddenly, a god named Athena appears and asks Gudo if he's the godslayer. When Gudo figures she's a god, Athena points out that their clash is inevitable, since she hopes to reclaim something that's rightfully hers. Gudo then says he's not there for a fight, but since Athena believes in violence as a conversation starter, she attacks him. However, she stops and vanishes the moment Erika shows up, leaving Gudo jumpy. Afterward, Erika introduces Gudo to representatives of the Magician Society who showed up with her to evaluate how strong he is. Immediately, Erika summons her sword and attacks him, but he evades the attack with a slice in his shirt. On realizing it's a real sword, Gudo evades more attacks and asks if she's gone nuts. Erika then says that his powers are dormant and can only be drawn out with a real fight. So Erika summons a lion made of steel to attack him, but while Gudo thinks of running, he unconsciously activates one of his abilities. Just then, he grabs the lion by its fangs and tosses it away, leaving the representatives impressed. After this, the spirit of the beast suddenly attacks him, but he evades the attacks while the representatives discuss his impressive abilities. To make him show off more, Erika reclaims her sword and casts a spell when Gudo says she's fallen into his trap. Suddenly, he summons a boar that charges towards Erika, but she evades the attack while the bull ends up destroying the entire arena. Meanwhile, the representatives watch in awe and decide he's worthy of being handed a divine instrument. Just then, Gudo charges out of the smoke and pins Erika to the ground, asking if she's had enough. Erika then blushes and points out that he did well. When the representatives start applauding Gudo's skill at pinning ladies down, Erika suggests he finish what he started. But he hops off her, saying she's not his type. After this, he demands that she reveal what she truly wants from him. So Erika confesses that she chose to be with him not because he's a campione or because anyone told her to, but because she genuinely loves him. While Gudo blushes, Erika conjures a strange-looking medal and shows it to him. Unknown to them, they're being watched. Some days later, while Yuri heads to school, Amaterasu meets her and points out that something bad is about to happen to Gudo. On their way, Amaterasu asks her to confirm if Gudo has a medal known as the Gorgonian. However, at the gate, she spots Erika choking the life out of the poor dude. Somewhere else, Athena senses the Gorgonian nearby and casts a spell to locate it. Meanwhile, at school, Erika finds her locker flooded with love letters, so she makes jaws drop as she ignores them and walks away like a diva on a walkway. On getting to class, she finds Gudo depressed and asks why he's unhappy. In response, Gudo says that he's worried because everyone wishes they could hang him for hanging around the prettiest girl in school. Erika then says she's all he needs to be happy, but Gudo knows she's capping. So he heads out and runs into Yuri, who then asks if they could meet after school. Later, Gado arrives on the school roof after managing to get away from Erika and apologizes to Yuri for being late. Yuri then says she should be the one apologizing since he's a king, but Gado reminds her that he's not interested in all that. So Yuri asks if he has the Gorgonian with him, but since Gado has no idea what that means, Yuri explains that it's a divine instrument capable of destroying the world. Gado then says that his father's grimoire is enough trouble on its own, and says he can't deal with another divine instrument. Afterward, he asks what the Gorgonian is, and Yuri describes it as a stone metal with a snake image on it. Before she finishes speaking, Gudo hands over the Gorgonian to her, leaving her shocked as he explains that he got it as a gift from Erika. Suddenly, Yuri crashes out, telling him to start considering how his actions as a devil king affect everyone around him. When she points out that he could end the world with a dumb mistake, Gado still doesn't understand why she's pissed. So Yuri says it doesn't matter, and states that their country might be the focal point of a prophecy. Later, at a shrine, Gudo asks about the prophecy, and Yuri explains that a princess once prophesied that the Gorgonian's power would transform an ancient goddess into a powerful and vengeful being that might end the world. On hearing this, Gado suggests they destroy it, but Yuri explains that it can only be sealed, which would require much time and magic. Just then, Erika shows up to claim ownership of her human toy, but Yuri accuses her of putting the country in danger. Erika then says she handed the medal to the Gudo because he's the campion who can save them if the prophecy comes true. When Yuri agrees with her, Erika suggests she check out the medal using her spirit vision to see if she could detect anything. So, Yuri casts her spell, and when she spots Athena standing somewhere in the city, she gets scared and drops the medal. Shortly after, Gudo and Erika run to the city to find Athena, and when they arrive on a roof, Erika tells Gudo to prepare to fight since they're up against the daughter of Zeus. Suddenly, Athena appears and says she's pleased to see Gado again, surprising Erika, who then wonders how they know each other. So Athena introduces herself as a godslayer of the East and tells Gado to introduce himself since they're about to battle over the Gorgonian. In response, Gudo says he's got no beef with her, but Athena states that anyone keeping her away from the medal is an enemy. When Gado introduces himself, Athena asks where the Gorgonian is, since she can tell he isn't carrying it. Hearing this, Erika figures that Athena can sense the location of the medal, so she summons her sword and blocks an attack from Athena with it. After this, Athena points out that although the power Gudo stole for himself is minor, she still feels threatened by him. Hearing this, Gado suggests she leave, but Athena says that it'll be boring, so she traps Erika inside a barrier and appears before Gado. She then states that he's too cool for a godslayer and foolish for a king, so she lays a kiss of death on him, draining him of strength as his legs start to shake. When he collapses, Athena decides to hack him to pieces to get rid of his meddling powers, but Erika suddenly jailbreaks and turns her sword into a lance. Seeing this, Athena asks Erika if she wishes to join her ancestors early, but Erika introduces herself and prepares for a fight. Moments later, Erika attacks Athena with all she's got and manages to put a mark on Athena's hand. However, this heals up immediately, and despite this, Erika continues to attack until Athena shatters her spear. So Erika traps Athena with a spell and escapes with Gado. Somewhere else, Yuri runs into Liliana, a knight of the bronze black cross, who then asks her to hand over the medal. However, Yuri refuses, saying it has to be sealed immediately, while Gudo and Erika delay Athena. Liliana then points out that her seal will be useless to a god, but Yuri insists that they must try. So Liliana says she has to take the medal from her then. Suddenly, Amakatsu almost crushes Liliana with a car and asks Yuri to get in. Just when Liliana tries to go after them, Makasu seals her up in a barrier and drives away. Somewhere in the city, Gado awakens to Erika fiddling with his hair and asks how long he's been dead for. In response, Erika says he's been out for hours and adds that the powers are slowly becoming his. Just then, Gudo thanks her for saving him, but Erika says that words won't cut it, since she needs him to show her how he feels. As she leans in, Gudo panics and reminds her they're in a park, so Erika suggests they head to her room instead. But Gudo says there's no time to fool around. After this, he asks about Athena, and Erika reveals that she's going after the Gorgonian and might soon find it. When Gudo worries about Yuri, Erika tells him to relax since they can't stop Athena from getting the medal, and adds that they can either watch the world fall apart or fight when it happens. Gado then asks about how to use the golden sword, and Erika confirms that he needs to know everything about his opponent to use the golden sword. Since learning about Athena would take months, Erika offers a shortcut and tells Gado he has to want it for it to work. Gado then tells her to go ahead, so Erica kisses him and transfers all the knowledge to him. Suddenly, Gato stops her when he spots the sky going dark all over the city. As the darkness sweeps through the city, Amakatsu and Yuri are stuck in traffic, so Amakatsu points out that the prophecy has started, and Yuri realizes Athena is coming for the medal. Amakatsu then suggests they ditch the car and run. Meanwhile, Athena casts a spell, summoning her servants to find the Gorgonian in the city, and shortly after, while Ariana drives through the traffic like she's got extra lives stored up, the owls find them. When Erica points out that they're Athena's servants, Gato asks why, and Erica pulls him closer to complete their knowledge transmission. Surprised, he reminds her that Ariana is in the car, and when he realizes she's watching, he tells her to keep her eyes on the road. On getting to a shrine, Yuri calls Gato, who then asks if she's made any progress with the ceiling. In response, Yuri says she hasn't started, so Gato asks her to leave the medal and run if things go south. However, Yuri says she can't just abandon her duty and run, so Gato tells her to call his name and think of him as hard as she can when things go downhill. Since Gato promises to be there, Yuri asks if that's one of his abilities, but Gato says he's not sure, leaving Yuri unimpressed. Yuri says he is irresponsible and decides to try the ceiling. After the call, Amakatsu asks Yuri when she got so close to Gato, but when she asks why he thinks they are, Amakatsu tells her to forget it, since she has the brain of a second grader, and leaves to find anyone who can assist with the ceiling. Meanwhile in the city, Erica and Gato decide to go on foot, since Ariana has wrecked their only ride. On their way, Erica asks Gato if he intends to use an ability called the Incarnation of the Wind if Yuri calls his name, and when he confirms this, he reveals that he's worried about Yuri because he put her in danger, so Erica tells him to ensure he saves her. On a lighter note, she adds that she can allow Yuri to be his side piece, since she'll always be his main. Suddenly, they spot a lightning strike and figure that Athena must have found the Gorgonian. Meanwhile, at the shrine, Athena shows up and asks Yuri to hand over the medal while threatening to take it by force. Quickly, Yuri puts up a barrier, but Athena destroys it in seconds, blowing her away in the process. Luckily, Liliana suddenly catches her and tells her to hand over the medal. On realizing that Athena is about to strike, Liliana quickly blocks her attack while asking Yuri to hand over the medal. While she hesitates, Athena blasts both of them and retrieves the medal. Afterward, she casts a spell and takes on a different form, and releases a wind of death, which Yuri inhales. Athena, then, figures she doesn't have full control of her powers yet, and says that it'll only be temporary. Meanwhile, Yuri remembers Gato's promise and tells Athena that she needs to defeat someone before she starts feeling funky. Curious, Athena asks who that is, so Yuri takes a risk believing in an idiot and screams Gato's name with every strength she has left. Suddenly, she collapses, but Gato arrives just in time to catch her. Surprised to see Gato alive, Athena laughs hard and says she didn't expect any less of a devil king. Shortly after, Erica joins them, and Gato asks Yuri if she's okay, but she starts coughing. So Athena says that Yuri was exposed to her wind of death. While Gato wonders what that is, Rika suggests he use his golden sword. So, Gato summons the sword and heals Yuri with it. Facing Athena, Gato offers for the last time to let her leave with her head. However, Athena states that he must be dull and reveals that she has just retrieved some powers and would like to test them out on him. Hearing this, Gato prepares to fight, so Athena attacks first, but he deflects the attack while instructing Erica to keep Yuri safe, since he's decided to whoop Athena's butt. Quickly, Erica grabs Gato and kisses him to transfer the rest of the knowledge to him, leaving Yuri shocked. Suddenly, Gato's golden sword glows, and a million swords suddenly appear as he threatens to end Athena for good. Impressed, Athena launches an attack at Gato, who then keeps blocking the attacks. After a while, Athena asks if he has no other moves, so Gato runs away. Suddenly, Athena conjures two giant serpents to stop him, and when he faces her, she tells him he's got nowhere to run, since they have to determine who's superior. However, Gato says he was trying to get her to reveal her trump card, and lectures her on her connection with snakes. Just then, Gato aims some swords at one of the giant serpents and takes it out. At this point, Athena pays attention to the golden sword while the other swords aim at the other serpent. After taking out the other serpent, Gato keeps lecturing Athena about her history, so she gets furious and fires an arrow at him, but Gato slashes through it with his sword. As she runs out of options, Athena tries to petrify Gato, but he cancels her attack with his sword and attacks her. Quickly, Athena conjures a scythe, blocking his attack as he keeps geeking out on her history. Suddenly, swords aimed at Athena start flying in her direction, but she blocks them with a barrier. However, Gato overwhelms the barrier with more swords, piercing through it and breaks it with his golden sword. Erica and Yuri watch the fight from a distance, and when Yuri asks what just happened, Erica explains that Gato just cut through Athena's divinity and says she's leaving to help Gato, since the golden sword will soon be used up. When Gato's golden sword runs out of juice, Athena attacks him and reveals that she knows that his power belonged to Varathrana. After she draws first blood from Gaudo, he puts away his sword and activates another skill. Just then, he summons a flaming horse of light from the sun to attack Athena, but she blocks the attack using a shield. Suddenly, Gaudo receives a lance from Erica and runs through Athena with it, resulting in a large explosion that leaves behind the metal and Athena freely dangling her pair of nothings. Feeling ashamed, Athena asks Gaudo to finish her off, but he spares her and tells her to get lost. Surprised, Erica asks why, and he says he only wanted to show her who's boss. On hearing this, Athena comments that he's a strange man and vanishes, leaving Erica to give Gaudo an earful. Gaudo then asks Erica if she knew how things would play out, and she confirms that the fight had to happen in Japan to avoid interference from other Campiones. Just then, Yuri joins them and asks what they'll do about the crater left behind by the explosion. The next day, Yuri shows up at Gaudo's house and says she's decided to keep him on a tight leash since he's irresponsible. To start her job, she pulls him away from Erica, but Erica pulls him back and suggests they head to school. Some days later, Gaudo heads to Erica's room to wake her for school, but he finds her sleeping soundly, so he tiptoes over to her, avoiding booby traps that can trigger chaos in his pants. When he finally gets her up, Erica calls him a brainless brute while flashing him with her perky wonders.
Wow! Beautiful!
But her comments land behind Gaudo's ears since he's quickly turned his back to avoid depleting his blood bank. When he tells her to put something on, she asks him to help her out. Without thinking, Gaudo grabs her chest huggers and tries putting them on her.
Yeah, boy.
But when his brain comes back online, he freaks out and tosses them away. Somewhere else, Yuri dreams about Liliana planning a ritual with another Campione named Voban. Some moments later, while she prepares breakfast, she thinks about Voban, but Hikari interrupts her and tastes some of her food, when she compliments her cooking and says that the king will love it. Surprised, Yuri asks how she knows about him, and Hikari reveals that Amaterasu told her. When she accuses Yuri of trying to seduce Gaudo through his stomach, Yuri suddenly turns into an angry tomato and crashes out. Ignoring this, Hikari offers to help her pack the food for Gaudo, but Yuri states that the food is hers and adds that she only aims to guide Gaudo on how to be a king. Again, Hikari ignores this and shows her the packed food, while stating that with it, she could make the king her husband, making Yuri daydream. Moments later, Yuri shows up at school with the packed food and thinks about Hikari's advice. However, on entering the class, she finds Erica straddling her love interest and talking about how he served her some before school. Traumatized by the sight, Yuri bangs the table and talks some sense into them, but Erica fires back, saying there's nothing shameful about doing it in class. Later during sports, while Erica wows everyone with her skills, Yuri approaches Gaudo to ask if she's using magic. When Gaudo responds, saying she's not, Yuri points out that he trusts her, and Gaudo agrees, saying she's saved him a bunch of times. While Yuri complains about her lack of skills with balls, Erica shows up and asks Gaudo to catch balls for her, since he was once a catcher. When Gaudo refuses just to spite her, Yuri asks if he really used to catch balls, and Gaudo reveals that he did, until he broke his shoulder and stopped. In addition, Gaudo says his shoulder healed when he became Campione, but he can't play because it'll be unfair to use his powers. Just then, Erica challenges Yuri to a baseball match, stating that she works her butt off in the front lines with Gaudo, while Yuri is just a sidekick who does nothing but get saved. Provoked by this, Yuri takes on the challenge, and moments later, she prepares for the match while Gaudo prepares to be the catcher. When the game starts, Gaudo and Yuri plan to make Erica look like a fool, and she suddenly gets a vision of the ball's direction. So when she tells Gaudo, he instructs her to swing as hard as she can. However, on Erica's first throw, Yuri swings just like your granny would, making Gaudo realize how screwed they are. After this, Gaudo tells Yuri to swing on his signal, and when Erica throws the ball, Yuri swings at Gaudo's signal. Just when she starts celebrating, she realizes the ball actually hit the bullseye between Gaudo's legs. Somewhere in the city, Liliana watches some archaeologists work on the crater left behind by Gaudo's attack on Athena. However, Amaterasu shows up to ask if something caught her fancy. In response, Liliana says she just stopped on a whim and leaves while Amaterasu wonders what she's after. Meanwhile, at school, Gaudo has lunch with his friends, and when Yuri shows up with a huge pack of food, Gaudo asks if she's eating for two, but Yuri says she made too much food and thought they could all share. Quickly, Erica grabs a bite and says it could be better, but Gaudo says she's got a huge mouth for someone who can't cook. On tasting the food, Gaudo commends Yuri's cooking, so Erica chips in that she must be trying to seduce Gaudo. However, Yuri disagrees, saying that her duty is only to guide Gaudo. Just then, Erica asks Yuri if she owns a phone, but she says she doesn't, since she's not good with electronics. So, Erica orders Gaudo to go to a store with Yuri to help her get one, and lectures Yuri on why she needs a phone, as someone babysitting a walking disaster. To drive home her point, Erica calls Gaudo and tells Yuri that she can talk to Gaudo every time with a cell phone. On hearing this, Yuri lights up, but suddenly realizes how embarrassing it looks, so she dashes off. After this, Erika points out that Yuri's sixth sense can come in handy, so she tells Gado to make her his, while stating that she's the only side piece he's allowed to have. Later, when they arrive at the store, Yuri says it's her first time going out with a man, making Gudo blush. While they decide on which phone to get, Yuri momentarily spots a shadow through the glass door. Sensing her fear, Gado asks if something is wrong, but Yuri says she was just imagining things. Afterward, Gudo shows Yuri how to use the phone, and when she finally gets the hang of it, Gudo tiredly tells her to try calling him. After she successfully pulls this off, Gudo commends her, so she tells him to call her if anything happens, and adds that she gave him many of her first times. On getting home, Gudo gets a call from another campione named Salvatore, who claims to be his friend, but Gudo angrily tells him to cut the crap. However, Salvatore reminds Gado of how much fun they had when they dueled. When Gado threatens to end the call, Salvatore reveals that Voban is in Japan and talks about his diverse abilities. After this, he asks Gudo to fight Voban to level up, but Gudo hangs up and decides to tell Erika. Unfortunately, he dials Yuri's number instead, but when Yuri steps out of her bathroom to pick up the call, Liliana shows up and grabs her. Sometime later, Yuri wakes up in Voban's mansion and wonders where she is. Just then, Voban tells her he needs her assistance for a ritual she once risked her life for. Afterward, he announces that she now belongs to him. Later that night, Amakasu informs Gudo and Erika that Voban has kidnapped Yuri. Surprised, Erika asks why Voban would do that, and Amakasu reveals that they've got history. Since time is running out, Amakasu asks them for help, and Gado immediately agrees. When Erika says they shouldn't be rash, Gado tells her about his call with Salvatore and reveals that it's a chance to pick a fight with him. Hearing this, Erika says she'd like to tag along, so Gado assures Amakasu that they'll handle it and asks for directions. Meanwhile, at Voban's mansion, Yuri tells him that she can't summon a heretic god, as he requested because it's her duty to protect the country. However, Voban says that she has no choice, so Yuri threatens to take her own life. Suddenly, Voban summons the souls of his dead warriors and explains that the lives he has reaped serve him eternally. When he adds that he'll soon find out if Yuri can serve him after she dies, Yuri impresses Voban by flexing her ability. Shortly after, Gado and Erika arrive at the mansion, and when she confirms that Yuri is in the building, they head inside. Suddenly, they are attacked by Voban's dead servants, while another undead informs Voban about their arrival. Meanwhile, Erika sends the undead back to where they belong. When the bodies vanish, they run into an ancient witch, who then summons a huge golem to attack them. Erika then slashes the golem, but it heals immediately, so Gudo tries to summon the bull. However, Erika tells him to save his strength for later, and strikes the golem on its head with her sword, defeating it at once. Somewhere else in the mansion, Lillian serves Yuri a cup of tea, and when she thanks her, Lillian says it's not needed. After this, Yuri tries to initiate small talk with Lillian, but Lillian cuts her off and reveals that Gado is in the building to fight Voban. When she adds that the godslayers are allergic to peace, Yuri responds, saying Gado is different. Liliana then states that Gado became a campione by fighting a god, and tells Yuri to prepare for a summoning. Meanwhile, Erika and Gado encounter more undead warriors, so she summons the steel lion to clear them out. Gado then asks if he's going to get any action, but Erika tells him to save his strength for Voban. Curious, Gado asks how strong Voban is, and Erika reveals that he's the most ruthless of all campion. So as they proceed, another witch tries to roast them alive, but Erika defeats him. Afterwards, they arrive at a room where they find Voban surrounded by ferocious-looking wolves, like a villain who takes his aesthetic very seriously. Gudo then introduces himself and declares he's there for Yuri. Amused, Voban says he was Gado's age when he became campion, but Gado says he's uninterested in his stories. Voban then says that Yuri belongs to him and asks if Gado brought anything of equal value to trade for her. Before Gado responds, Erika suggests that Gado take his friend's advice. Confused, Gado wonders what she is talking about, so Erika claims that Gado became close friends with Salvatore after their duel. She then adds that Salvatore suggested that Gudo engage him in a contest of power and teach him the sorrows of age. Shocked, Gudo marvels at Erika's storytelling and points out that Salvatore isn't that crazy. Voban then asks Gado if he defeated Athena, and when he says that he merely sent her packing, Voban reveals that Salvatore once stole a heretic god he summoned. Having had enough of his humiliation, Voban says he ought to behead Gado for being friends with his enemy, but since he's a kind-hearted king, he offers to release Yuri if they'll play a game where he lets them go, giving them a 30-minute head start. After that, he'll hunt them down, and if they survive until sunrise, he'll admit defeat. Shortly after, Ariana drives them away from the mansion at full speed, and on their way, Erika informs Gudo that they'll never be free until he gives the old man a glorious exit. Gado then asks if any organization has researched Voban, but Erika says there isn't much, since the old man is a walking history book with anger issues. Hearing all this, Yuri suggests they hand her over to Voban, since he only wants her help for a ritual, but Erica reminds her of how lucky she was to have survived the last ritual. After 30 minutes, Voban's wolves chase the car, and just as they're about to catch up, Ariana steps on the gas. When Yuri suggests they take her back and asks why they're risking their lives for her, Gudo says it's what friends do. So he hands her back her phone and tells her not to lose it again. Just then, Erica says it's cool they're getting along, but reminds Yuri that she's just a side chick. Suddenly, the wolves hit the car, so Erica tells Ariana to drop them off somewhere open. When she drops them and drives off, they start running on foot towards an evacuated building. Suddenly, the wolves catch up with them, and when Gado prepares to fight, Erica tells him to save his strength and quickly multiplies her sword. Just then, she wipes out the wolves and retrieves her sword. Suddenly, Voban appears and asks Gudo if he's ready to be destroyed, but Gudo says he has a loud mouth for someone who can't get his wrinkly wainer up. So, Voban summons a legion of dead knights like he's hosting a medieval reunion. Just when Erica says it'll be a tough battle, Gudo summons the White Stallion, which charges in and burns through several of the knights. Furious, Voban transforms into a werewolf and swallows the stallion's flames. While Gaudo and his friends marvel at this, Voban laughs at them and says that Gaudo must have defeated Athena and Salvatore by luck. Unimpressed, Voban leaves the walking dead to finish them off. Erica then charges forward to hold the dead off, while Gudo wonders which of his skills would be strong enough to take down Voban, since he knows nothing about his opponent. Just then, Yuri touches him, and Gaudo realizes he has to protect her, so he activates a skill and escapes an undead's attack, using the raptor's speed. Shortly after, Erica also casts a spell and escapes too. However, she runs into Liliana on a roof, who then says it's unlike her to run, since she's a show-off. After this, Liliana draws her sword and prepares to fight, so Erica converts her lance into a sword and prepares to fight too. When Gudo arrives somewhere safe, his heart starts beating like it wants out, but Yuri quickly tries to heal him. However, since magic doesn't work, Gudo explains that magic can only work on him when it's directly injected into him. Suddenly, Yuri remembers Erica kissing Gudo and figures she was just trying to help. But since she couldn't kiss him, Yuri starts rubbing his chest to calm his racing heart. Meanwhile, Erica darts around Liliana, who isn't impressed with her footwork, and tries to run her through with her sword. However, Liliana blocks her attack and says she uses her legs too much. In response, Erica tells her to stop running her mouth and fight elegantly, so they continue clashing swords. At the same time, Yuri succeeds at calming Gado down, so he asks her how Voban managed to swallow his White Stallion attack. Just when Yuri says she has no idea, she suddenly gets a vision about Voban's powers. Sensing this, Godo asks if she saw something, but Amakasu interrupts them, stating that Erica is in trouble. Somewhere nearby, while Liliana attacks and chases Erica around, Erica suddenly stops and asks Liliana if she's serving Voban willingly, but Liliana blames Erica for seducing Gado and becoming his mistress. After this, she explains that her grandfather got his inspiration from her and forced her to become Voban's mistress. Desperate to fulfill her obligation as a knight, Liliana tries to attack her, but Yuri screams, telling them to stop. Just then, Yuri accuses Liliana of helping Voban, who made them suffer some years back. She then points out that Gado can accept her, but Liliana says she will never defect. Suddenly, the wind blows a signpost towards Yuri, but Liliana slashes the doors apart and proceeds to attack Erica. However, Erica starts talking about a secret romantic novel Liliana wrote and hid in a drawer in her room. This makes Liliana freak out as she asks Erica how she found out about the book, so Erica promises to forget about the book if they become best friends. Yuri then asks Yuri to tell Erica what she saw in her vision, since she might know more. Shortly after, while Voban orders his wolves to find and hunt his enemies, Gudo and his friends arrive on the scene and ask him not to bother. On seeing Liliana with them, Voban asks why she's hanging out with the ops, and in response, Liliana says she's resigning. After this, Gado tells Voban that he won't let him touch anyone else again, so Voban suddenly transforms into a huge werewolf and asks Gado to show him what he's made of. Suddenly, Erica kisses Gado, transferring everything he needs to know to him. After this, Gado activates his ability and pulls out his golden sword. While he reveals Voban's past, a million swords emerge from the ground and cut Voban. Despite this, Voban summons more wolves, but they are all taken out by Gudo's swords. He then charges towards him, but Gudo attacks him with a torrent of swords. Afterward, Voban transforms back and summons more dead warriors to see if Gado can take them out with his abilities. At his command, the dead warriors attack Gado, but Erica and Liliana step in and block the attacks. While this goes on, Yuri starts feeling useless, so she has a vision and quickly tells Gado it's possible to remake his sword. Hearing this, Gado tries immediately, but nothing happens. Erika then points out that the sword needs more knowledge about the Voban to work, so Yuri steps forward and kisses Gado to transfer the knowledge. But since nothing happens, Voban's undead army surrounds Erika and Liliana. Seeing this, Voban starts taunting them. Yuri explains to Gudo that the kiss has to be real, so when they try again, the golden sword suddenly powers up, and the sky gets filled with his altered swords. Immediately, Gado attacks Voban's dead warriors, but Voban still survives somehow and throws Gado off his feet while Yuri panics. Afterward, Voban summons weather deities, and Gado barely evades being struck by lightning. Seeing this, Erika tries to intervene, but Voban stops her with lightning and tells her to stay away, since it's a duel between kings. After this, he overwhelms Gado with his lightning attacks, almost making him into grilled campione. Suddenly, Gado hears some strange voices asking him to get back up, so he activates one of his skills. At the moment, Voban strikes him with lightning and turns to leave, but to his surprise, Gudo says he's not the only low-budget Thor around and fires off a lightning attack at Voban. However, Voban deflects the attack and decides to thank Gado for entertaining him. So when Voban starts cooking up another attack, Erika and Liliana power up and stand by Gado to defend him. From the sidelines, Yuri also powers up, and together, they all supply Gado with strength. So Gudo blocks a lightning attack from Voban and realizes that he's still not strong enough to take out the old man. Suddenly, the souls of the undead under Voban's command start rooting for Gado and lend him their strength. So Gado manages to overwhelm Voban with a massive blast. Just when they think it's over, Voban crawls out of the crater and says it's not over yet. Before things get wild again, Yuri quickly steps forward and points out that it's already daybreak. Pained by this, Voban admits defeat and promises to crush Gado the next time they meet. After he and his army of the dead disappear, Yuri collapses, but Gado catches her and asks if she's okay. So Liliana explains that channeling that much power must have drained her completely. To make matters worse, Erika suddenly pretends to be exhausted, so Gado rushes over to help, but she quickly pulls him in and kisses him, while Liliana watches and feels embarrassed for them. Sometime later, during a beach vacation in Italy with Lucretia, the ladies play volleyball, and Gado somehow ends up catching a ball with his face. When he collapses and faints, the ladies suddenly rush over to check on him and start blaming each other, but things go south when Lucretia claims to be one of Gudo's mistresses and revives him with her airbags. So, as the ladies struggle to get theirs in his mouth, Gado wonders about which side of heaven he landed on. Later that day, while Yuri enjoys a bath alone by the ocean, Lucretia joins her and tries to talk to her, but Yuri gives her the cold shoulder while stating that she's still pissed at her for trying to steal her man with her nuclear warheads. Suddenly, Lucretia reached underwater and grabbed Yuri's chest handles, making her scream. Luckily, Ariana walks in and says she brought milk for them. She slips and ends up drenched like the aftermath of a 5-to-1 group activity. Meanwhile, somewhere else on the beach, Erika gets swoony about finally getting some alone time with Gado on a boat. However, Gudo doesn't share her enthusiasm, since he is bound in cuffs, so he tells her she belongs in jail for kidnapping him. However, Erika blames him for lacking the balls and game required to take their relationship to the next level. Suddenly, Gudo flashes back to the moment Erika invited him on a vacation trip and gave him no options to refuse. In an attempt to avoid it, he contacts Lucretia, asking to hide out at her place, but after she agrees, Yuri tags along with him at the airport. Unfortunately, when they landed, they were welcomed by Lucretia and the other ladies, waiting to make Gudo's life miserable. While Gudo regrets his life choices, Erika suggests they get freaky on the boat, but the moment she uncuffs Gudo, he dives right into the water and swims to freedom. On getting to the shore, Gudo walks in on the buxom wenches lounging in the hot spring, so he tries to run again, but Yuri stops him, saying they need to talk. Some moments later, Gudo gets an earful on why he should save himself for later. However, during her speech, her towel slips, giving Gado a mind-blowing view, accompanied by a slap he wasn't prepared for. Somewhere else in the city, Liliana gets a call and is informed that Salvatore, whom they've been tracking, got away. Because of this, she decides to keep her eyes on him, since he's dangerous. Meanwhile, at the resort, while the ladies sleep, Gado tries to get away, but runs into Athena. When he asks what she's doing there, she states that he's the one who walked into her territory and tells him that a battle may be approaching. After this, she takes him out on a boat, and as they sail, Gado asks where they're headed, but Athena says she's just letting the wind guide them. Suddenly, Gado spots a beam shooting into the sky from a distance. Somewhere else, Salvatore strolls through some passages underground and wonders if he's lost. However, when he spots a witch's seal, he figures he's not and walks through a protective barrier like it's nothing. He then arrives in a room and finds the Heronion, a glowing grimoire shaped like a stone pillar. Just when he tries to touch it, Liliana shows up and stops him. After she introduces herself, Salvatore asks if she isn't curious about the Heronion. But Liliana explains that clearly the Hyranian has been acting crazy ever since the Gorgonian was discovered. In response, Salvatore says he would have fought Athena to seize the Gorgonian if he knew she was coming, so he drew his sword and announced that he wanted the Hyranian's power for himself. Liliana then warns him against doing this, but since reckless is his entire personality, Salvatore charges up and slashes the Hyranian, releasing a surge of magical energy that shoots into the sky. Suddenly, a god named Perseus appears on a mountain nearby and watches the magical beam transform into a dragon. Meanwhile, when Guido and Athena spot the dragon on their boat, Guido wonders if it's a god, but Athena explains that it's a divine beast that will invite trouble. At the same time, Liliana arrives on the surface and sees Perseus attacking the dragon, so she tracks where the dragon crashes, and when she finds the wounded dragon, Perseus appears and introduces himself like he's on a resume. On realizing he's a dragon hunter, she warns him not to kill the dragon, since there will be consequences. However, Perseus says that not even Mia Khalifa can stop him from doing his duty. Suddenly, the dragon tries to roast him with its fiery breath, but Liliana shields herself while Perseus descends from the sky to take out the dragon. However, Athena arrives on the scene and stops him, shocking Liliana, who then spots Guido and asks if he brought the crazy goddess. Guido then explains that Athena brought him, and they watch Athena absorb the dragon's power for herself. Seeing this, Perseus draws his sword to end Athena, but Guido asks them to stop. Suddenly, Perseus glances at him and recognizes him as a godslayer, so he declares that Guido is his enemy too. Just then, Athena confirms that she brought Guido because she intended to train him. Suddenly, Perseus points his sword at Guido, but Liliana quickly grabs him and helps him escape. When they arrive at a safe place, Liliana suggests they hide at a nearby copper-black cross chapter. Curious, Guido wonders what's going on, so Liliana explains Salvatore's role in the chaos and says they need to eliminate Perseus as soon as possible. Guido then says that he needs to acquire knowledge about Perseus before fighting him. Liliana then offers to use teaching magic on him, but Guido explains that magic cast on him externally won't work. Fired up now, Liliana asks him to tell her what to do and promises to do it, so he reveals that it can only work on him through a kiss, leaving Liliana horrified by the idea. Just then, Perseus finds them and draws his sword, but Liliana decides to protect Guido since she can't give him what he needs, so she challenges Perseus. However, when they are in class, she realizes she's not all that, so Guido quickly summons the boar to attack Perseus. However, Perseus survives the attack and counters with a spell that sends Guido's boar on vacation. Surprised, Liliana asks what just happened, and Guido reveals that his authority has been sealed. Suddenly, an arrow from Perseus lands near them, and the resulting flames almost roast them alive. So Guido tries to escape using the raptor, but Perseus shoots him with an arrow. Shocked to see Guido drop, Liliana kneels beside his body while Perseus draws another arrow, determined to turn Guido into a decorative pincushion. However, Liliana stands in his way, and just as he's about to release the arrow, Athena attacks him from behind. When he calls her a backstabbing coward, Athena tells Perseus to leave Guido, since he's her prey. Hearing this, Perseus asks if Guido will revive, and when she confirms this, Athena adds that Guido gets more interesting after he's been defeated. Hearing this, Perseus decides to retreat and continue the fight whenever Guido wakes from his beauty sleep. After he leaves, Athena tells Liliana to inform Guido that she won't tolerate another lapse and vanishes. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, Guido meets Pandora, who then explains why he died even after using his abilities. After this, she cheers him on and reminds him that he needs to defeat Perseus. Shortly after, Guido wakes up and finds Liliana crashing out like crazy because he died without asking for permission and then came back like a stubborn boner. When Guido apologizes, Liliana suddenly remembers he's a devil king and quickly apologizes for overstepping. However, Guido blames himself for getting his unimpressive behind kicked. Liliana then blames herself for not kissing Guido when it mattered, but Guido looks away, pretending it's not why he lost. So, Liliana offers to commit seppuku, but while Guido tries to calm her down, an apprentice mage of the Bronze Black Cross walks in and introduces herself as Karen. When she says that Liliana stayed up all night watching over him, Guido thanks her, while Liliana brushes it off like it's nothing. After this, Karen reveals that Ariana told her about Guido's vacation, where he was busy drowning in plots. Hearing this, Liliana short-circuits, trying to process how good his magic wand must be for him to own a collection of baddies. Just then, Karen chips in that Guido might be planning on adding her to his collection. Without further ado, Liliana starts flinging off her clothes to try out the magic wand for herself, while Guido screams into the void. Meanwhile, back at the resort, everything stops working, and since the disaster happened after Erica was informed about Guido's defeat, she worries about being unable to reach him. While Yuri wonders if Gudo is okay, Erika assures him that Gudo can't go out that easily and suggests they find a way off the island. At the same time, Gudo tries to reach any of his friends but can't, while Liliana drowns in embarrassment. Gudo then tries to comfort her, but she masks her shame with anger, declaring that they need to defeat Perseus. While they brainstorm on how to go about this, Liliana points out that the name Perseus means someone from the east. After racking his empty brain for answers but getting none, Gudo wishes Erika and the others were there to bail him out. Suddenly, Karen asks Gudo to step out since she and Liliana need to discuss organizational matters. After pushing him out, Karen points out that she has a chance to win Gudo's heart, since the Bronze Black Cross and the Copper Black Cross have always been rivals. And ever since Erika started sampling the Devil King's candy stick, the Copper Black Cross has lost its street cred. In addition, Karen blames Liliana for failing to bag any of the Campiones, including the old man. When Karen says it'll be an accomplishment for their sect, Liliana thinks of the moments she had with Gudo and quickly ends the conversation. Meanwhile, while Gudo enjoys the view from the balcony, he finds a book lying on the ground and reads through it. Just then, he realizes it's a romance novel someone must have written and wonders who the raunchy writer might be. Just then, Liliana shows up and sees Gudo reading her romance novel, so she threatens to end his life to keep her secret. Suddenly, Athena appears and comments that Gudo's wounds are healed. Shortly after, Gudo asks Athena how Perseus could turn off his powers, and Athena offers to explain everything, but only if Gudo agrees to owe her a favor. Before he responds, Liliana jumps in front of him and says it's not appropriate for a king who protects humanity to make such deals. Unimpressed, Athena tells him to find her when he retrieves his balls from Liliana. Some moments later, Gudo asks Liliana why she turned down Athena's offer, so she responds, saying he's being rash by carelessly accepting a heretic god's bargain. Gudo then thanks her for saving him, but Liliana quickly gets on her knees to apologize. When Gudo tells her to stop embarrassing him in public, Liliana switches to groveling mode. Gudo then helps Lilian back up, but discovers she's crying, so he quickly drags her away before the bystanders start dragging him. Afterwards, Gudo gets some ice cream and shares it with Liliana, so she asks why he's always worried about her when she's always annoying. Gudo then responds, saying that because he depends on her and the other ladies for help, he has to look after them just like they look out for him. Just then, Liliana tells Gudo to be mindful of his environment when fighting and suggests they find a way to defeat Perseus. After this, Gudo tells Liliana that there's nothing embarrassing about writing a novel, but Liliana blushes and throws her ice cream at him. Later that day, while Liliana writes her novels, she starts daydreaming about Gudo pinning her to a bed, so she freaks out. Thinking she's worked up over Perseus, Gudo assures her that he'll defeat him, but she heads out. After this, Liliana shows up with a cup of tea for Gudo, but after he drinks it, he suddenly feels his body go numb. Liliana then tells him to rest while explaining that Athena's deal isn't bad, but he can't be the one taking it. She then promises to gather all the information on Perseus herself and heads out. Shortly after, Liliana meets Athena and tries to get some answers out of her, but Athena insists on getting something in exchange. Liliana then suggests she respond as a gift to Gudo, so Athena gives her clues about Perseus's abilities. After Liliana figures it out, Athena decides to punish her for trying to manipulate her and starts fiddling with Liliana's mini saucers. Luckily, Gudo shows up fighting his paralysis. He then offers to make a deal to save Liliana from being used by Athena. On hearing this, Athena reveals more information about Perseus's origin and tells Gudo to stick to his end of the deal after he defeats Perseus. Shortly after Athena vanishes, Gudo collapses into Liliana's arms and accidentally undresses her, but he passes out immediately, sparing everyone further complications. Meanwhile, Salvatore finds Gudo's friends and ties them up to prevent them from helping Gudo. He then confesses that he stopped everything from working by using his authority because Gudo will never improve if he keeps getting rescued by them. At the same time, Gudo's paralysis wears off, so he receives a message from Perseus, inviting him to a duel at a very specific location nearby. On the day of the duel, Perseus enchants a crowd to chant his name while he gives a speech that makes him feel good about himself. When Gudo arrives, he points out that Perseus must be starved of attention wherever he's from. In response, Perseus asks if he would have loved to fight without an audience. Without wasting time, Gudo activates one of his skills, and while Perseus charges towards him, he picks up a pillar and charges at Perseus too. Some moments before this, during a discussion with Liliana, Karen suggested that she use her teaching technique on Gudo, since she received the information from Athena. Liliana said she'd rather tell him. However, when Karen reminded her that she'll have to tell him everything in a stack of huge books within minutes, Liliana asked if there was another way. In response, Karen suggested that Liliana transfer the knowledge to her while she transferred it to Gudo. When Liliana kept cringing at the idea, Karen said it's just a kiss, but Liliana declared that she was saving her first kiss for her wedding night. On sensing where the conversation was headed, Gado slipped out to use the bathroom. The moment he left, Karen leaned in and told Liliana that Gado might actually be the one, since they've been through enough together. However, Liliana pointed out that Gado is a public property that has enough traffic around it. Unbothered, Karen suggested that stealing is always an option. Just then, they realized that Gado had been gone for a while. Somewhere in the city, Gado got off a bus, but was intercepted by Liliana, who then asked where he was headed. When she asks why he's volunteering to get destroyed, Gado says he doesn't want to lose. Liliana then tells him to order her to transfer the knowledge to him, but Gado refuses. So Liliana says it's his right to compel humans to yield to him, but Gado says he's only fighting the gods because there's no other person to do it, and adds that he won't be different from Voban if he forces her to do something like that. When he tried to leave, an arrow landed near his feet as Perseus showed up out of nowhere and suggested they head to the arena. Back in real time, Gado hurls the pillar at Perseus, who slices it in half alongside every other thing Gado hurls at him. Perseus then asks Gado why he fights like someone who is one punch away from being wasted, but Gado says that winning is all that matters. Suddenly, Perseus seals Gado's powers and fires an arrow that sends him flying off like a misplaced package. Quickly, Liliana rushes after him and finds him conscious, so she asks what his plan is, and Gado says he'll figure something out. Suddenly, she grabs him and kisses him, but she halts and tells him to kiss her back properly. So Gado kisses her, but when nothing happens, he tells her to relax and open her heart. Just then, he kisses her again and activates his golden sword. Despite this, she asks for more and tells Gado to do whatever he wants with her. Meanwhile, at the arena, Perseus wonders why the modern-day godslayer is so easy to beat. Just when he prepares to drive Gado out of hiding with another shot, Gado reappears with his golden sword as many swords start emerging from the ground. Just then, he identifies Perseus as Mithras, a Persian god pretending to be a Greek god just for the aesthetic. Suddenly, Perseus fires an arrow that breaks off into a cluster of arrows, but Gado's swords take them out. While lecturing Perseus about his history, Gado blocks more attacks from him and retaliates, but Perseus blocks his attacks using a barrier. Impressed, Perseus asks Gado for his name and fires off a flaming arrow at him. After responding, Gado blocks the arrow and destroys Perseus's bow in the process. However, Perseus conjures up a sword and stabs Gado, who then sends Perseus flying with a devastating kick. Perseus gets back up, feeling amused, and takes control of Liliana using a special ability. He then orders her to attack Gado, and while she attacks him, Gado tries to talk some sense into her. However, when she goes for his head and cuts him a few times, Gado puts some space between them. Just then, Liliana switches into a bow, and just as she draws, Gado screams her name. Suddenly, she fires the arrows at Perseus, so Gado rushes over to ask if she is okay. Liliana then explains that she heard him calling her name. Just then, Perseus pulls out the arrow, while saying that love has always been the strongest of weapons and attacks again. So Gado charges towards him while Liliana aims her bow at Perseus. When she fires the arrows, Perseus evades them all, but one turns around and pins him to a pillar. Quickly, Gado drives the arrow deeper with a kick, and summons the bull to finish him off. Afterwards, Gado collapses, so Liliana tries to heal him with her kissing spell, but Athena suddenly appears and heals him herself, while adding an extra kiss as a reward for winning. As she leaves, she tells Liliana to inform Gado that they'll meet again soon. Meanwhile, Perseus survives the bull, and while he plans his comeback, a dark figure suddenly appears and chops off his hand. After introducing itself as the serpent that opposes heaven, the figure transforms into a massive serpent and devours him on the spot. The next day, Liliana is taking care of Gado when Erica and Yuri show up and immediately resume being a collective headache. They reveal that Karen has already told them everything that happened. Gado quickly tries to defend himself, insisting that Liliana is just his knight and nothing more. Erica, however, is not convinced in the slightest. Sometime later, at the shrine, a girl named Anna visits Yuri and asks if she's really Gado's concubine. In response, Yuri says that Amakatsu is the one spreading the fake news. Anna then states that Yuri has been summoned since things aren't looking too good for her, and they can't afford to lose to Erica. After this, Anna informs Yuri that she has to become Gado's favorite, but when she blushes and says she can't, Anna asks if she's fallen for Gado. Yuri then responds, saying it's not true, so Anna suggests they share her duties as a wife, and asks Yuri to tell her about Gado. During lunch at school, Liliana tries to feed Gado like he forgot how utensils work, while Shizuka watches from the sidelines, silently praying for chaos. She then points out that they brought another girl from Italy to join Gado's harem, asks Erica and Yuri how they allowed that. In response, Erica says Liliana is devoted and would be a nice addition to their group. Some moments before this, when Lillian was introduced to the class, she had taken a page from Erica's playbook, and secured a seat right next to Gato in class. Back in real time, Liliana continues to fuss over Gato like he's a toddler who might wander into traffic if left alone. While Yuri watches and feels concern, Erika reassures her that Liliana will eventually wear Gato out. Later in class, Gato finds a letter in his desk, and when he opens it, he realizes it's an invitation to the tea ceremony room. Suddenly, Liliana appears behind him, asking if everything's alright. A few moments later, Liliana follows Gato to the tea room, insisting she's his guard, and there, they find Yuri sitting and Aina kneeling in an awkward position. So Anna introduces herself and announces that she's also been chosen to marry Gato, just like Yuri and the others. Afterwards, she prepares a cup of tea for him, and Gato drinks it up. Gato then asks why he should marry her, but when Aina says he already has 3 mistresses, Gato asks where she got the numbers. So, Aina mentions every one of his friends, but Gato clarifies that they're just friends, surprising Yuri. Just then, Aina asks Yuri how she feels about Gato, and when she starts stuttering, Aina reminds her that she won't get another chance and offers to support her if she sees Gato as just a friend too. While Yuri tries to find her tongue, Liliana asks what they're trying to achieve by ruining Gato's life. Instantly, Aina fires back, calling Liliana number 2 concubine, and goes on talking about how she's inferior to Erika. Just then, Erika shows up, saying she came looking for Gato, and adds that they seem to be having an interesting discussion. So Aina says she's been looking forward to speaking with her, and the two decide to talk elsewhere. After school, Gato, Yuri, and Liliana wait for Erika. So Gato points out that she's taking too long, while Liliana assures him that she'll be fine as long as it's just negotiations. Moments later, Erika returns, and when Gato asks if she did anything dangerous, Erika tells him to stop treating her like a vicious dog. Relieved, Gato suggests they get something to eat, but Yuri and Liliana both decline, saying they have things to do. After they leave, Gato asks Erika if she wants to head home with him, but Erika suggests he spend the day with Shizuka instead. Just then, Shizuka starts questioning him about the new girl he met at the tea room, making Gato wonder how she found out. In response, Shizuka says she's in the tea club. Somewhere far from all this, Athena battles with a dark figure in the sky. Back at the school, Shizuka gets out of the pool looking depressed and spots Yuri sitting by the pool too with her demons. So she walks away while Erika watches both of them nearby. Meanwhile, on the school roof, Gato and Shizuka bond over a plate of food, and Erika suddenly gatecrashes and announces she's taking Gato on a date. Shizuka instantly gets furious and storms off, leaving Gato to deal with the fallout. When he asks what she wants, Erika says she wants to ask him out since he's never asked her. After this, she asks if he has any idea why Yuri and Liliana have been acting strange, and Gato agrees to spill. Later that day, Erika calls both Liliana and Yuri just to inform them about her date with Gato. Shortly after, she picks up Gato at his house, leaving Shizuka pissed. As they leave, Erika asks Gato if he's figured out where he's taking her, but when she notices the clueless look on his face, she threatens him. A few moments later, Erika tries on a new inner fashion statement and asks Gato to figure out where he's taking her next. Just then, she asks him to make a pic for her, since he'll be undressing her very soon. Hearing this, Gato's heart almost jumps out of his mouth, and he suddenly claims to have figured out the perfect date location. For the rest of the day, they spend time together, eating, exploring, and actually enjoying themselves. Eventually, Erika asks where he plans to take her next, but after considering different options, she says she's decided on a place they could go. Meanwhile, at the shrine, Liliana panics while Yuri, who's doing chores, tries to calm her down. However, Liliana insists that she can't relax knowing Erika is probably flexing her gawk skills on Gato. She then asks Yuri if she's stopped caring about Gato, but Yuri admits she's just too traumatized after being slammed into the friend zone. However, she adds that Gato holds his friends so special and can risk his life for them. Liliana commented that Erika is the one who understands Gato best. Somewhere else, Erika and Gato visit the site where he defeated Athena, and Gato asks if she enjoys watching the destruction he caused. Just then, Erika starts reminiscing about their first victory together and points out that Gato must be feeling like a king already, since he could easily dismiss those who helped him gain his first victory as just friends. Hearing this, Gato apologizes, and Erika tells him to choose his words carefully with ladies. Just then, Anna shows up and says she and Erika plan to have a duel without interference. Suddenly, Erika suits up and prepares to fight. The moment Anna unveils her sword, Yuri senses this and rushes out. Meanwhile, Gato asks why they're dueling, and Erika reveals that Ina plans to eliminate her. In response, Ina says that a Japanese king should have Japanese mistresses only. Just when the ladies realize they're equally skilled, Erika points out that Ina's sword must be a divine instrument. Suddenly, they both decide to show off their power, charge up, and in the process, Gudo steps in between them. When he tells them to stop, Ina suddenly activates her sword and opens up a portal that swallows Gudo up. Immediately, Erika clashes with Ina and asks where Gudo is. In response, Ina says that her grandfather took him to the netherworld, so Erika jumps in after him, and Ina goes after her. Meanwhile, at Gudo's house, Athena crashes in through the roof, scaring Shizuka to bits. She then apologizes and asks if Gudo is home. Meanwhile, Gudo wanders around the netherworld and wonders where he is. Just when he starts feeling sick, he spots a cabin sitting in the middle of nowhere. He then wonders how the house got there and suddenly hears a voice inviting him to enter. On entering the cabin, he meets Susanoo, who then introduces himself as Ina's guardian. Back in the real world, Shizuka wonders why Gudo didn't return home and crashes out, telling Athena how much of a burden she's been. Just then, she spots Athena sniffing a pillow and asks what she's doing. In response, Athena says the pillow smells like Gudo. Hearing this, Shizuka asks Athena who Gudo is to her, and she reveals that although she can't define what they are, Gudo has seen her bare minimums. Hearing this, Athena freaks out, wondering if her brother has a type. Meanwhile, when Erika and Ina arrive in the netherworld, Erika starts using up all her mana to stay alive, and when Ina points this out, Erika asks why she's not affected. In response, Ina says it's probably her grandfather and her sword helping her out. Just then, she swings her sword and slams Erika into a rock. When Ina says that her grandpa is now retired, Erika threatens to retire her too, but says she had to save Gudo first. However, Ina says she'll get him first. At the cabin, when Gudo asks Susanoo if he's a heretic god, Susanoo reveals that he grew tired of the surface and retired to the netherworld. He then points out that since Gudo has met Pandora, he must know about the netherworld. However, when Gudo gets another bout of headache and wonders who that is, Susanoo says that Ina didn't transport him properly, so he's having problems remembering things. Just then, Gudo's mind gets flooded with knowledge about Susanoo, and his golden sword suddenly appears. While he wonders what's going on, Susanoo explains that the netherworld houses the entire memories of the universe, and he's picking them up. Susanoo, slightly impressed, mentions that he would have challenged Gudo to a duel if he hadn't already retired from active chaos. Gudo then asks why he was dragged into the netherworld, and Susanoo explains that his goal is to transfer power to Ina. When Gudo asks about Ina and Erika, Susanoo gives him a live preview of Erika currently being handled by Ina. So when Gudo says he'll save Erika, Susanoo tells him that they have some unfinished business. Somewhere in the netherworld, Ina lets her sword fully possess her and starts absorbing Erika's mana like it's a limited time offer. While Erika weakens, Ina approaches her to finish her off. In the real world, Yuri starts having visions of what's happening and tells Liliana that their friends have been pulled into the netherworld. While they try to figure out how to get them back, Amaterasu shows up, offering to help. Liliana then questions his intentions, so he explains that Gudo will be needed soon, since a strange darkness is spreading across the skies worldwide. Back in the netherworld, Gudo arrives just in time to save Erika with his golden sword. He then speaks to Ina but realizes she's fully possessed by her sword, so he activates his golden sword, and he forces Ina to retreat. After she escapes through a portal, Gudo notices Erika unconscious, so he gets her under a tree and tends to her. But since she's wasting away, Gudo tries to teleport her back to Earth, but instead ends up hopping to random locations in the netherworld. Meanwhile, at Gudo's house, Athena tells Shizuka how Gudo pierced her with his massive strength, making Shizuka realize how unhinged her brother is. Suddenly, Athena hears about the strange phenomenon happening around the world and disappears without explanation. Back in the netherworld, Erika asks Gudo for a last kiss, but Gudo says he's not in the mood for jokes. Erika, however, gets serious and makes her final requests and confesses her love for him. On hearing this, Gudo grabs her and kisses her, then immediately yells out of frustration and wonders why he has to lose her. Suddenly, he taps into a new ability from Varathragna's spirit. He then makes Erika promise to always stand by him and activates his new skill. He then pours his magic into her, granting her divine protection while she makes happy noises. Meanwhile, in the surface world, Liliana tries to teleport Yuri into the netherworld, but someone interrupts them before they can pull it off. Back in the netherworld, Anna returns fully possessed by Groot's distant cousin, who then attacks them. Energized by Gudo's magic inside her, Erika draws her sword and fatally hits the monster. Just then, Ina regains her consciousness, so Gudo uses the raptor's speed to separate her from the monster. However, she loses her clothes in the process, giving Gudo a view that fries his brain.
Wow! Beautiful!
Just then, Ina kisses him as thanks, but Erika calls their attention back to the monster. Just then, they hear a loud noise, and the netherworld collapses. Immediately, they all find themselves back at the shrine and reunite with Liliana and Yuri. Just then, they realize that the power from Ina's sword has been absorbed by Metis, Athena's evil twin. Coincidentally, Athena shows up, leaving everyone surprised. Just when they wonder why there are two versions of Athena, Guido identifies the evil twin as Metis and explains that she's Athena's mother, and reveals that Susano told him about her penchant for destroying the world. Hearing this, Yuri points out that the Starry Night prophecy might still come true, and Erika confirms this by saying that the world will fall to ruin if Athena regains her true form. Suddenly, Metis summons Enna's sword and starts wreaking havoc while targeting Gado like he's on her to-do list. Luckily, Athena saves him, so he asks why Metis isn't having trouble with the sword. And Yuri explains that although the sword has a history of defeating snake spirit goddesses, like Metis, the sword actually originates from snakes. Just then, Erika tells Gado to escape with Athena because it'll be game over for everyone if Metis swallows Athena. Gado then offers to fight her, but Erika reminds him that he just used his golden sword, and they can't risk using their trump card so early. Just when the ladies agree to deal with Athena's crazy mother, Ariana arrives, driving like Dominic Toretto, so Gado grabs Athena and gets in the car. However, when Yuri refuses to join them, Gado screams her name as Ariana drives off. When she joins the other ladies, Erika asks Yuri why she returned when she's been given a chance to become Gado's mistress. However, Yuri says she'll definitely take things to the next stage with Gado. While they discuss this, Metis breaks out with another attack, but Erika clashes swords with her. Meanwhile, on the road, Amaterasu tells Ariana to head for Mount Fuji, explaining there's a shrine there with protective spiritual power. Just then, Guido realizes Athena has lost both her memory and her powers, so they figure that Metis must have taken them. At the shrine, Erika thugs it out with Metis using Guido's power within her, while the other ladies watch in amazement. Just then, the other ladies power up and bind Metis with a spell, so Erika and Liliana jointly attack Metis. At Mount Fiji, Guido regains his powers and wonders how his girls are doing, but Athena interrupts him, asking ridiculously basic questions. While he gives her answers, Metis has dealt with her opponents, so she rises high in the sky and spots Athena's location. Suddenly, she attacks with flames from the sky, but Gado shields Athena, surprising Metis to see him still standing. Guido then offers to let her live if she returns to Athena without any drama, but Metis says that Athena's life belongs to her. However, Guido disagrees and states that Athena is his friend. Hearing this, Metis decides to take her by force, so she stack, but Gado evades her attacks using the raptor's skill. When his heart starts racing, Metis hits him and is about to attack again, so Gado counters with another skill. Unfortunately, this doesn't hurt Metis, so she slashes Guido and Athena when she tries to save him. Just then, Athena grabs Metis' weapon and tells Guido to escape, but instead, he summons a white stallion to attack Metis. However, Metis emerges unscathed, and when she swallows Athena, she takes on her full form. Despite this, Guido refuses to give up, so Yuri arrives and kisses him to heal him. Just then, the other ladies show up too, and they decide to defeat Metis. While Metis laughs at them, Guido kisses Anna and gets the knowledge he needs to activate his golden sword. Metis then wonders what's going on, so Gado disarms Metis, and when Anna retrieves her sword, he attacks her, but she's protected by a barrier. Annoyed, Metis casts a serpent spell, but Erika and Liliana protect him with their spells. Erika then suggests he restructure his sword like before. So, Liliana kisses Gado, transforming his swords. Quickly, Gado attacks again, but this time he overwhelms Metis' shield with more swords. Suddenly, he launches an attack using his big sword, crumbling Metis' defense. After this, Erika approaches Guido and kisses him too, and this transforms his swords. So Guido attacks one more, and successfully separates Athena from Metis. Just then, they all combine their strength, and Gado strikes with multiple attacks, tormenting Metis. Suddenly she spots Athena's body, and tries to retrieve it, but Gado summons Athena using his Gale skill. Suddenly, Athena awakes and kisses him, restoring Guido's powers, so he transforms his sword into a huge scythe, and together, they both defeated Metis for good. Immediately, she explodes, the darkness around the world lifts, and Athena regains her powers. After this, Athena says goodbye to Gado and vanishes, while he collapses. Sometime later in Guido's house, the ladies treat Guido like he's the last man on the planet, and this annoys Shizuka, who then asks if they're now running a charity for the homeless. In response, Gado claims it's not his fault, while the ladies explain why they can't let him go. Who's your favorite villain between Voban and Metis? Let's know your thoughts in the comments section. And if you want more videos like these, like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.